Hello, year two. This week we're going to be looking at adding and subtracting, doing some revision. So remember, watch this short video, then once you're done, you go back to your independent tasks and complete some questions in the book. So, today we're adding and subtracting 10. If we think first about 40 add 10, well, 40 is already in the 10 times table, so really we're just going to the next multiple of 10. But what I want to show you is, you can see in the middle here, I've got my 100 square. And this idea that when we add 10, only the tens column changes. So you can see this really clearly. When I go from 40 to 50, well, my ones have stayed the same. I've just added another 10. So I've had 4 tens, now I've got 5 tens, which we write as the number 50. Think about our tens and our ones. Again, if we think then about the number 45, if we want to add 10, well, 5 is in the ones column, so that's going to stay the same. If I put tens and ones over here, I know my 5 is going to stay the same. I've got 4 tens at the moment. If I add one more 10, then I'm going to have 4 add 1 is 5 tens. And again, if we see here, in the 100 square, 45, add 10, 55. Ones all stay the same, all 5 in the ones, and just adding one more 10 each time, getting 10 bigger. So again, 54. Well, if I make my prediction, I think the ones are going to stay the same because I'm adding no ones. So I've still got 4 ones, and my 5 ones is going to go to 64. So it'd be 50 add 10 is 60. So 54 add 10 is 64. 54 add 10, 64. So you're going to have a go at these questions. Pause the video now, complete the questions, and then unpause once you're done. Okay, here we go. So 20 add 10 is 30. 24 then add 10 will be 34. Ones stay the same. And 42 add 10 is going to be 40, 52. If you're struggling with those at all, go back, really practice counting up and down just in your multiples of 10, particularly probably counting up from around 50 and then counting back down as well. Really good practice. If you're good at that, it makes all the other calculations much easier. What about these examples then? Slightly stranger examples maybe. So with 3 add 10, well, we've got to think at the moment, I've got no 10s. I've got 3 ones, I've got no 10s. So if I add 1 10, well, I've still got 3 ones. But if I add my 1 10, now I've got 1 10 and 3 ones, which is the number 13. So from 3 we go to 13. 15 add 10, well, again, think about my 10s and my 1s. My 1s will stay the same, I'm adding no 1s. So if I add another 10, well, 1 add 1 is 2. So I've got 2 10s. 15 goes to 25. And then 98, just a little bit tricky because, again, my 1s are going to stay the same. I've still got 8 1s. But when I add 1 to 9, I get 10. So I have to regroup, and we've now got 100, no 10s, and 8 ones. We go from 98 to 108. If you think about 90, 100, so it'll be 98, 108. So again, your turn, pause the video. Don't forget you can use the 100 square if you need to as well to help you sort of really see what's going on here. It's all about pattern spotting maths, and adding 10 is very much a pattern problem. So pause the video, have a go at these, and then unpause to check the answers. Okay, let's have a look then. Well, 6 add 10 is going to be 16, 10 and 6. 18 add 10 will be 28, so 10 to 20, so 18 to 28. And then 93 add 10 takes us into this hundreds group, takes me up to, whoops, 103. Takes me up to 103. What about subtracting then? Well, it's a very similar issue. We're just changing the tens column, because we're subtracting 10, 1, 10, and no ones. So the ones stay the same. 40 subtract 10 is 30. Is 40. This time I'm going this way, I'm subtracting. So it's got 30. 45 subtract 10 then. Well, let's think. My ones I know are going to stay the same. 4 10 subtract 1 10. 4 subtract 1 is 3. So I get 45 subtract 10 is 35. If you think about it, if I know 40 subtract 10 is 30, then 45 subtract 10 will be 35. The ones are staying the same. Same thing here then, I know 50 subtract 10 is 40, so 54 subtract 10 will be 44. And again, just notice ones have stayed the same, still got 4 ones, but I've got 1 less 10. I've gone from 5 tens to 4 tens. Your turn, pause the video, come back when you're ready. Okay, so we get 50, and then 54, and 36. Again, just the tens changing, ones stay the same. So what about these slightly odd examples again? Well, 20 subtract 10, if I go from 20 to 10, 2 tens to 1 10, I just get 10. 15 subtract 10, that's a little bit odd just because, well, we've got no ones. I'm taking away no ones, sorry, so the ones stay the same. I've still got 5 ones. But if I do 1 10, subtract 1 10, well, 1 subtract 1 is 0, so I've now got no tens. So I go from 15 just down to 5. And 102 subtract 10, well, if I know 100 subtract 10 is 90, I'm good at counting back, remember, we've got to practice counting back in our tens. 100 subtract 10 is 90, then 102 subtract 10 is going to be 92. Again, the ones column, that ones column has stayed the same, but now I've gone from 10 tens, or 100, and no tens, 10 tens to 9 tens. So final bit of practice, pause the video. 10 subtract 10 is going to be 0. If I take away the entire number, I get 0, nothing left. Again, here I'm taking away this 110, so I'm just left with 7 ones, and 102, we've already got that, is 92. Okay, so have a go now at your independent task. It might help you to use the number square that is on that sheet, just to really see what's going on, what's the patterns, how can I connect this? If you're finding this a bit tricky, do spend lots of time practicing with an adult or an older brother or sister, counting up and down in tens using a number square. It really, really helps your brain just to work out how all these numbers are connected.